Hello, Facebook friends, hello. Hello, Facebook friends, hello. I'm feeling a little silly, so let's start the show. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Blah. Pardon me, a little bit of stuff in my throat. Welcome to today's show, Tazzy Reads, with my silly beard. It's a very weird beard. It's a weird beard.
I think maybe they're meant to be a little bit weird.
Oh, they're meant to be weird?
It rhymes with beard, so you always need to say my beard is weird or
My
I have
beard
a
is
weird
weird.
beard.
Yeah, it's just like really curly right here. I can't even, because I'm looking at it in the thingy. There, I'll look up there. There we go.
Did you roll curlers in it?
I don't know what I did to my beard. It was
Breadstick
nice a little while ago, and then I was sitting there reading like this, and I think that's what happened. Anyway, good morning, Brenda. Good to see you're here. Today is... Oh, Miss Christie's here. Say hi, Miss Christie. I almost forgot about you, even though I was just talking about you. Good morning, Jay. Today is a very special day, because today is book number 400. Book number 400. Book number 400. There we go. Book number 400. 400, 400, 400. We had something planned, and then I moved my phone. Book number 400. Here we go. Woohoo! Didn't work as well. There, that's the cheap fireworks we have. Book 400. That's what happened when you're dealing with 13 cents for a... but it's book number 400. Book number 400, 400, 400, 400. That's crazy. And let's ask Suri. Suri, how many days since March 18th?
It was 126 days ago.
126 days. And book number 400, 400. Hey, we should ask. Hey, Suri, how many books have I read?
I found this on the web.
Oh, it's showing for red books. Okay. Hey, let's ask Suri. Hey, Suri, have you ever heard of Tazzy Reads?
I'm not sure I understand.
None of us do. There you go. So, book number 400. So welcome, book number 400. Thank you for being here. Oh my gosh.
Like your own version of the fireworks better.
Yeah, the that didn't work. So I'm very proud. And I'm very flattered that you've been here for 400 books in 126 days. Oh my gosh. Seems like only 124 days ago we got the idea to do this.
So
That's a third of a year we've been reading, isn't it?
Yeah.
Suri, what's 365 divided by 3?
It's about 121.
Over a third of a year. There we go. That seems like such a long time. Oh, did you just wreck stuff? No, yeah. That's why. So I'm going to read from my 400th book, a book I have never read. I just found it in my collection. And to be honest with you, I don't know who gave me these books. They just showed up in the mail. And they were mailed from somewhere in the States, weren't they?
No, Ontario.
Yeah, Ontario. Somewhere in Ontario. Somebody sent me a whole bunch of Dr. Seuss books that have been well read and vintage books. Like this one is I don't think this one's a first edition by far. I think it might be. This one was printed in. This one was printed in 1965. Oh, this actually might be a first edition. So there you go. I had trouble getting to Solla, Sollew. So I'm going to read that. I've never read it. I just found it. Good morning, Rob. How are you? Welcome to book number 400. Oh, you put it away. I was going to keep... Oh, it's okay. 400. Book number 400. This is from Random House in 1965. So if anybody still works at Random House in 1965, you can't stop me from reading this, and I'm going to read it. Here we go. I was real happy, carefree, and young, and I lived in a place called the Valley of Vung. And nothing, not nothing, ever went wrong until one day I was walking along. And I guess I got careless and I guess I got gawking at the daisies and not looking where I was walking.
Back a little bit. There you go.
I have to use my finger with Dr. Seuss books because of the words. And that's how it started. Sock, what a shock. I stubbed my big toe on a very hard rock, and I flew through the air, and I went for a sail, and I sprained my main bone in the tip of my tail.
Ouch.
Yeah. Broke his bum bone. Now, I never had ever had troubles before, so I said to myself, I don't want any more. If I watch out for rocks with my eyes straight ahead, I'll keep out of trouble forever, I said. But watching ahead, well, it just didn't work. I was watching these rocks and I felt a hard jerk. A fresh green-gilled Quilligan quail sneaked up from in back and went after my tail, and I learned there are troubles of more than one kind. Some come from ahead and some come from behind.
Hashtag truth.
Truth. So I said to myself, now I'll just have to start to be twice as careful and twice as smart. I'll watch out for trouble in front and back sections by aiming my eyeballs in different directions.
Oh.
I found this to be quite difficult stunt, but now I was safe both back and the front.
You gotta give a close up of his eyes.
There's his eyes are just like.
Oh boy.
Now I see two of everything.
That gives me a headache
Just thinking about that. And then new troubles came from above and below. A scritch on my neck and a skrink at my toe. And now I was really in trouble, you know. The rocks, the quail, the skricks, the skrink. I had so many troubles, I just couldn't think. He needs more eyes.
Yeah. That little guy there, he's taken such like a delicate nibble at his toes. Keep his lips out of the way.
Yep. There I was, all completely surrounded by trouble, when a chap rumbled up in a one-wheeler wumble. "Young fellow," he said, "what has happened to you has happened to me and other folks too. So I'll tell you what I've decided to do. I'm off to the city of Sollew. On the banks of the beautiful river Wahoo, where there never are troubles, well, at least very few. It's not very far, and my camel is strong. He'll get us there fast, so hop on, come along." I jumped in behind him, and all through the day, the wumble wumbled a wumblesome way. The road got more bumpy, more rocky, more tricky. At midnight, I tell you, my stomach felt icky. And so I said, "Mister, please, when do we get to the wonderful town? Are we almost there yet?" "Young fellow," he told me, "don't start in a stew. At sunrise, we'll drive into Sollew, and you'll have no more troubles. I promise. I do."
I like those trees.
Yeah, they're very neat, eh? Mm-hmm. But when dawn finally came and the darkness got light, that wonderful city was nowhere in sight. Instead of the city, we ran into trouble. Our camel got sick and he started to bubble. We had to pull him on the one-wheeler wobble. So there we were in a dreadful position. Our camel sure needed a camel physician. Now, doctors for camels are not often seen, especially on mountains. They're far in between. So we pulled that old wobble and set out to find some doctor while dragging our camel behind.
Bubbles definitely mean trouble.
Yeah, bubble trouble.
At least they're coming from the front end.
Yeah, they're coming from this front end. Bubbles are coming from the back end. I'd be pulling faster, that's for sure. I pulled and I pulled and pulled, and the next thing I knew, I was pulling the camel and the wumble chap too. Now really, I thought, that's rather unfair. But he said, "Don't you stew. I'm doing my share." This is called teamwork. I furnish the brains. You furnish the muscles, the aches, and the pains. I pick the best roads and tell you where to go, and we'll find a good doctor more quickly, you know. Then he sat, and he worked with his brain and his tongue, and he bossed me around because I was young. He told me to go left, and he told me to go right, And that's what he told me all day and all night.
That doesn't seem very fair.
Nope. Next morning we located Sam Snell, who knew all about the tonsils and camels as well. Our camel, he said, had a bad case of gleeks and should be lie flat on the bed for at least 20 weeks.
Oh boy.
I was tired and I wanted to crawl into that bed, but the wobble chap sent me away and he said, "Your troubles are practically all at an end. Just run down the hill and around the next bend. You'll come to the Happy Way bus route, my friend. The Happy Way bus leaves at 4:42 and it'll take you directly to Sollew, on the banks of the beautiful river Wahoo. And they never have troubles, at least very few." Well, the bus stop was there. That part was just fine. But tacked on a stick was a very small sign saying, "Notice the passengers using our line. We're sorry to say that our driver, Butch Myers, ran over 4 nails and has punctured all tires. So until a further notice, the 442 cannot possibly take you to Sollew. But I wish you most pleasant journey by feet. Signed, Bus Line President, Horace P. Sweet." So I went on by feet, thanks to Horace B. Sweet. That Horace B. Sweet almost ruined my feet.
Yeah, you'd need some good shoes.
They definitely need some good shoes for a long trek like that. I just don't know why when they put up the sign, somebody just didn't stick around and bring people to the... I'm just saying. 100 miles later, my feet were so sore. Then, wouldn't you know it, it started to pour. I was drenched to the skin when a chap in a slicker splashed and yelled, "It's a Midwinter Jigger." The Midwinter Jigger came early this year. And it's not going to be around very comfortable around here. Any fool can get out, so I've packed all my things and I've pulled up my granddaddy's. I'm off to my granddaddy's out in Palm Springs. "Take cover," he yelled. "Use my phone if you wish." Then chap in the slicker splashed off like a fish.
Dr. Seuss always makes the best rain. It looks extra wet.
Yeah, it's just like giant, wet, big, long droplets, right? Oh, I ran in the house and I fell in a heap. I needed my rest, but I just couldn't sleep. Did you ever sleep when your feet were like ice? With a family of owls and a family of mice? I listened all night to the growls and yowls, the chattering teeth of those mice and those owls. In the Midwinter Jigger howled horrible howls, while I tossed and I flipped and I flopped and I flapped. It was 5:15 when I finally slept.
Doesn't seem very restful, no.
Then I dreamed I was sleeping on billowy billows of soft silk satin marshmallow stuffed pillows. I dreamed I was sleeping in Sollew on the banks of the river Wahoo. There were never any troubles, at least very few.
That looks comfortable.
It does look very comfortable. Then I woke. And it just wasn't true. I was crashing downhill in a fabulous flood, with suds in my eyes and my mouth full of mud, my nose full of water, my ears full of shrieks of the owls flying off, with the mics in their beaks. And I said to myself, now I really don't see any troubles like this have to happen to me. I floated 12 days without toothpaste or soap. I practically had given. My dyslexia is strong in a Dr. Seuss book. I floated 12 days without paste or soap. I practically almost had given up hope. Then someone up high shouted, "Here, catch the rope!" And I knew that my troubles had come to an end. I climbed up the rope calling, "Thank you, my friend." So if anybody, I mentioned dyslexia, just said, I mentioned dyslexia. So for those of you that have never seen any of my readings before, I have dyslexia, which means that sometimes the words on the pages move around, or my eyes will pick up different things, or with sometimes with numbers it's very hard. So it makes it very hard to read, but I try. And I used to be very embarrassed about having dyslexia, because sometimes people would tease me when I tried to read in school. Even the teachers actually weren't very nice about it. But now I just read, and if I make a mistake, I usually go blah, 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 and I give it another take. Oh, that rhymed. It did. Mm-hmm. It's okay to rhyme, and dyslexia is not a crime. I've been saying that for a great length of time. I got to the top, but it wasn't a friend. I saw that my troubles were not at an end. The big man on horse scared me out of my wits. He bellowed, "I'm General Genghis Kong Schmitz. There's a war going on. In this time that you knew that every lad in this land has a duty to do. We're marching to battle. We need you, my boy. We're about to attack. We're about to destroy the perilous Poozer of Pamplemousse Pass. So get into line. You're a private, first class."
Uh-oh.
No, from one trouble to another trouble.
Yeah, just keeps...
Just to go to Sollew.
He gave me a shooter and one little bean, which was not very much, if you see what I mean.
Then he yelled, "Get that Poozer! Attack without fear! The glorious moment of victory is near!"
The glorious general led the advance, with a glorious swish of his sword and his lance, and a glorious clank of his tin-plated pants. Then around the corner, and found that at last there were more than one Poozle in Pamplemousse Pass, and Genghis Kong Schmidt shouted out to his men, "This happens in war every now and again. Sometimes you are winners, sometimes you are losers. We can never win against so many Poozers. So I suggest that it's time to retreat." And the army raced off on his tin-plated feet.
Dun dun dun.
Bum, bum, bum.
And all he's there is with a shooter. And
He's got a
one
pea
bean.
shooter. And there I was, with more Poozers than I've ever seen. There I was, with my shooter and one bean. There I was, and I thought, I'll never get through to the wonderful city of Sollew, on the banks of the river, beautiful river Wahoo, where they never have any troubles. At least, very few. They look very mad.
Or full of, like,
The
mischief
cr-
or something.
Grumpy. Yeah, like I had a terrible trouble in staying alive. Then I saw an old pipe that said, "Vent number 5." I didn't have time to find out what that meant, but the vent had a hole, and the hole's where I went. Well, that vent where I went was sort of a funnel that led me down into a frightful black tunnel. The traffic down there was a mess, I must say, with billions of birds going all the wrong way. They bumped me with bikes, they banged me with dishes, I ran into ladders and beds, bottles, and fishes. I skidded on garbage, I fell in a horn. Troubles, I wished. I'd never been born. I was down there 3 days in that bird-filled-up place. At least 8,000 times I smelled smack on my face. I injured 3 fingers, both thumbs and both lips, my shin bone, my backbone, my wishbone, and hips. There's more. I was starved and I had nothing to eat, and damp. It was damp. I grew moss on my feet.
Oh. That is damp.
Then, when I thought I could stand it no more, by chance I discovered a tiny trap door. I popped my head out. The sky was sky blue. I knew from the flowers I'd finally come through to the bay. I knew from the flowers I'd finally come through to the banks of the beautiful river Wahoo. I couldn't be far now from Sollew.
I like those flowers.
Yeah, the flowers are nice. They're neat looking. Look like pancake flowers. There it was,
with its glimmering towers in the air. I made it. I've done it. At last I was there. I knew that I'd left all my troubles behind when a chap at a doorway that shimmered and shined waved me a wave that was friendly and kind. Welcome, he said, and he gave me his hand. Welcome, my son, to this beautiful land. Welcome to sweet sunny Sollew. We've never had any troubles, at least very few. As a matter of fact, we've only just one. Imagine just one little trouble, my son. That one little trouble you will now see. It is the one little trouble I have with this key. Just one trouble.
One little trouble.
One little trouble. That's not can't be too bad, eh? There is only one door to Sollew, and we have a key slapping slippered. We do. This troublesome slippered moved into my door 2 weeks ago Tuesday at about 3:45. Since then, I can't open this door anymore, and you can't kill a slippered. It's very bad luck if to kill any slippered. That's why we're stuck. When no one gets in, the town has gone to pot. It's a terrible affair, is it not? And so, said Doorman of Sollew, my job at the door here is finished. I'm through. And I'll tell you what I've decided to do. Here's a key slapper. Nope. I'm leaving, he said. I'm leaving Sollew on the banks of this beautiful river Wahoo. Well, there'll never be any troubles, at least very few. I'm off to the city of Bula on the banks of the river, beautiful river Woo-Wall. And they never have troubles, no troubles at all. Come along with me, he said as he ran. You'll never have any troubles there, young man.
He was promised no more troubles here, though.
No, he said very few troubles. Now he's saying no troubles. I'd have no troubles. That's what the man said. So I started to go, but I didn't. Instead, I did some quick thinking inside of my head.
That's the best place to do your
Yeah,
thinking.
you're thinking inside the head. Then I started back home to the Valley of Vung. I know I'll have troubles, but maybe get stung. I'll always have troubles. I'll maybe get bit by the green-headed quail on the place where I sit. I've bought a big bat. I'm ready, you see. Now my troubles are going to have troubles with me. There you go. That was the Dr. Seuss book. I had trouble getting to Sollew. Oh, I like that story. I love the Dr. Seuss. That's it.
So it started out, he stubbed his toe and he decided to kind of try to run away from his troubles.
Well,
right?
he stubbed his toe and he fell down onto and hit his bum and broke his bum there a little bit and broke his tail feather. And he thought, I want to go somewhere that has no troubles. But every time you try to run away from your troubles, you seem to have more trouble. So that's why you have to sort of face your troubles, right? If you face your troubles sort of head on and deal with them, then I think what you'll find out is that you'll have less troubles. Because if you have one thing that's bothering you and you try to ignore it, then other things will start bothering you, more things will start bothering you, more things will start bothering you. But if you take the time to deal with the one trouble that you have, you can probably deal with that and then move on. Maybe it might only take a few minutes. Sometimes it might take a few weeks. That's just the way it is. I think the most important thing you can do is talk about things that are bothering you. And that's why we always say, all your emotions are valid. Being happy and being sad and being scared and being mad or being confused. It's just you have to find somebody that you trust to talk to about it. Right? That's what we say. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to get sad. And it's okay to be frustrated with the situation, because sometimes the situation needs you to be frustrated. And then you deal with it, and then you feel stronger and you feel proud of yourself. But what are the three letters we have to always remember? A-B-K. Always be kind. Always be kind. Always be kind. I promise to try to always be kind. And I say try to always be kind because We're not always going to be able to do that, are we? We talk about this every episode, that sometimes our mouth or our hands work before our brain and our heart do. So sometimes things come out before we have a chance to think about them. So if you're not kind and you find yourself not being kind to somebody, then you just have to say, I'm sorry, and start again. And hopefully they forgive you. And if they don't forgive you, well, that's a big lesson to learn, isn't it? And you don't have to be perfect. Sometimes I remember Josh or Kyle are saying, I can't, you want me to be perfect? No, we don't want you to be perfect, because perfect is impossible. So don't even try to be perfect, right? If you want to try to be perfect, you're never going to get there, really, because then perfection means that you could always be the best. So don't try to be perfect. Just try to be you. Because in all that you say and all that you do, you never have to be perfect. You just got to be you. So you be you, and I will be me, and Miss Christie be Miss Christie. We beast will be we beast, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. I'm very happy because 400 books. That's a lot.
That's impressive.
That's very impressive. Thank you very much, Miss Christie. And Miss Christie said that I could have a puppy.
I did not.
You did so?
No.
One day, I dreamt it yesterday. I dreamt it in my head.
That doesn't mean that I said it, though.
Yeah, in my dream, you said it.
That wasn't me.
In my dream, it was you.
It was your imagination.
But my imagination, yeah, I guess she's right. So I have to have an imaginary puppy for a little while. Oh, he made imaginary pee. So Miss Christie's going to clean up an imaginary pee, and I'm going to go convince her that I want a puppy. And I think it's very important for you to take the time to exercise your brain and exercise your body and be very proud of yourself. Do what you can to be proud of yourself, and take the time to remember how much a kind word can make somebody's day so much happier. And you've made me very happy by turning into this to be with me to read my 400th book. If you want other episodes, they're all available on YouTube under Tazzy Reads. Tazzy Reads, Tazzy Reads, Tazzy Reads, reads books.
Not all of that. Like, they don't have to type.
They don't have to type all that in. They just go Tazzy Reads. Tazzy Reads. Please share this silliness so that we can have people, learn to be silly and learn to be kind. So lots of love from Miss Christie and I. And I will talk to you tomorrow for book number 401.